Hello, my name is Jake Kavanagh. I'm an audio production student at SAE London.
I'm Barney, and I'm an audio engineering student at SAE London.
My name is Cas Taylor, and I'm also an audio production student at SAE in London.
During this presentation, I will be discussing Grand Theft Auto 5, which is a game developed by Rockstar and released in 2013. Throughout this presentation, we'll be looking at both the social and economic effects of the game, and we will look closely into the sound design and score of the game. Grand Theft Auto 5 was a widely anticipated game and broke industry sales records and became the fastest selling entertainment product in history, earning $80 million in the first day and reaching $1 billion in the first 3 days. We'll also look closely into the way that the open world, do anything you want sort of gameplay the game has, and how it's linked to the escapism culture that dominates media and entertainment business today.
The audio production process of Grand Theft Auto 5 can basically be split into two parts. The first part being the sound design. The sound design deals with the recording, editing, and placement of the real-world sounds that you hear in GTA 5. Everything from city noise, nature noise, ambience, engines, revs, gunshots, speech, radio had to be recorded and then placed into GTA 5. The man that was mainly responsible for supervising this process was a man called Alistair McGregor. He is the lead audio programmer in GTA 5. As you can see from the hyperlink on your screen, which is from the game's developers conference from 2014, Alistair McGregor had the task of organizing all the technical aspects of the sound design for GTA 5. Basically, that meant that a team of people had to go out into the real world using a variety of microphones, mostly omnidirectional microphones, to record the real world sounds. Then the audio programmers had to edit those, process them, and then place them in the right place in the game. Because of GTA 5's nature, it's an open action world game, it's an interactive game. The gameplay and the action is never quite the same, and it can change from moment to moment. That meant that the sound design had to support the gameplay, had to support the actions of the player. This was achieved by the interactive STEM system. That's what Rockstar calls it, the interactive STEM system, which basically meant that the sound design supported and responded to the actions of the players. The second half of the audio production process for Grand Theft Auto 5 is the soundtrack, the sound score. The man who was responsible for supervising that process is called Ivan Pavlovich. He has been involved in previous editions in the GTA series. GTA 5 is special because the soundtrack was specifically written for the game itself. Basically, 20 movies worth of score were written for the game to go along with the 240 licensed track that Rockstar has obtained. Now, although there were many composers that contributed to the creation of the score, there were three main composers that basically were given the task to write the signature score for the game's three lead characters. The first composer is called Edgar Frisey from Tangerine Dream. He's an electronic musician from Germany who has sadly now passed away. He wrote the score for Michael DeSanta character. The second composer is called The Alchemist. The Alchemist is the in-house producer for Shady Records. He wrote the score for Franklin Clinton, and he also released an album called Welcome to Los Santos to go specifically with the game. The third composer is called Woody Jackson. Woody Jackson wrote the score for Trevor Phillips. Now, throughout the game, what you hear at any given point when the mission starts or in open world play is an amalgamation of the three composers' signatures scored in a true collaborative effort. What you also have to remember is because the game is interactive and it's an open world play, the music has to respond to the action and to the environment of the game. That means that the way Rockstar has achieved this is through the interactive stealth system yet again. Basically, that means that the music responds to the actions of the players. This is very important for the success in GTA 5, for the virtual realism. The sound is as realistic as possible, and that has contributed massively to the success of the game.
Summarize what Kaz and Jake have been talking about. Jake's talked about a little bit about the game. He's explained that it's an open world game where you can do what you want. Kaz has gone into the technical side of details in his main bit. He's talked about the processes which are going into it in the studios, and he's mentioned and talked a little about some of the key players such as Tangerine Dream's Edgar Freezy, who has sadly passed away, and The Alchemist, who worked for Shady Records, and Woody Jackson, who did the main part of Trevor. He's the only main character I remember, and he's my favorite, so I thought I'd mention him. What I find amazing about it, though, is the fact that the audio soundtracks contributed so much to the escape reality feel and sensation which this game has successfully managed to give to its players. You can go and do what you want, and it's very, very, very identical to what it is in reality. And part of that is the soundtrack. And in my opinion, and in our opinion in general, that's what the soundtrack has contributed to the game so much. It's contributed to that feel, and that's partially why it has made so much. It's become the success that it is. It made $1 billion worth of sales revenue in 3 days of its release. Not every game can say that.
On behalf of myself, Jake, and Barney, I would like to say thank you very much for watching this presentation.